course, no second chances from here on in for either Huddersfield or Hull, and Steve-O, Huddersfield will be looking to really get themselves back in contention here.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the coach, Paul Anderson, would have gone through all this week, just looking through the videos, making sure that everyone was aware. Now, last week against Wigan, the Giants threw everything at them in the opening 20 minutes, and then they just went to sleep. It was as simple as that. Take nothing away from the Wigan. They really just got into their faces, and Huddersfield know that Hull FC have got a really solid defence, so it's going to take sheer quality to break them down.
Absolutely, and that's a nice offload to Sean Lunt, and Sean Lunt makes the first break. He's got Griggs on his inside. He's got two men out wide. He should have passed. He should have got it wide, maybe.
Wonderful work by Jason Crooks, though.
Here's Chan. This is Cudjoe, and Huddersfield off to a flyer. Well, Hull just delayed the inevitable by scrambling their way back and getting Cudjoe to the ground. Their defence was split. There were men all over the place, and in the end, the ball got its way to Leroy Cudjoe, and Cudjoe, a try in each of the Giants' playoff wins. There's only been two of them, and he's got tries in both. And Leroy Cudjoe gets Huddersfield off to a great start.
Neat little offload there, but they've left a huge gap. Nice step there from Sean Lunt. Watch him go through. But watch how clever Jason Crooks. He has to throw the dummy because Crooks had put himself away. He could not offload, but it was to no avail with that effort from the winger Crooks as they had the numbers out wide, and the little man went straight through. Tremendous play, quick hands, and Cudjoe, he knows the way to the line. Well, what a wonderful start. Remember, it was the same against Wigan. A little bit later on into the game, Danny Brough got that opening try.
And Danny Brough has added the extras. It's the perfect start for the Giants. League leaders coming into these playoffs. Knocked off their perch by Wigan last week. They lead 6-0.
Well, it's one thing stopping the man, and we've all said all week how good Hull are as a defensive side at stopping their opponents. But you've also got to stop the ball. There were 4 defenders around Craig Chopchak. It was his second run in the 6 tackles that they had the ball, and yet he still found a way to offload the ball to Lunt, which caused all of the problems.
You know, Phil, they had another chance. Once that break had been made, Hull FC had 3 players on the short side. It was Kirk Yeaman, didn't show enough urgency and had his back to the play. I still believe if he got back in place quicker, they could have solved that on the short side.
Well, Hull kept the Catalan Dragons tryless last week. Their defensive qualities could easily be the key to a run to Old Trafford. Then in the opening minute or so, they were pierced by this Huddersfield Giants attack. And here they come again with Earl Crabtree, who gets them to the halfway line.
Interesting about that Earl Crabtree. Remember last week, they took him on after about 22 minutes. And I'm sure that Anderson, the coach, will want him to have a bigger play. He's such an important factor for this Giants outfit.
Jamie Shaw will play the ball. Jacob Miller was the dummy half. That looked as though it might have been a fraction high on Briscoe from Sean Lunt, but the referee allows them to play on. And here is Paul Johnson now for the Black and Whites of Hull FC. I must say it brought a really good travelling contingent with them this Thursday night to see whether they can get another step on the road to Old Trafford. Liam Watts will go down on tackle number 4. They're still inside their own half. Houghton turns the ball into centre field. This is Joe Westerman, and he goes down just inside Huddersfield territory on the last. And Houghton gets the ball to Holsworth, and Holsworth with the kick, and not the best, straight into the arms of McGilvray. Straight down to Bill Early.
Eddie, and that early Huddersfield try has slightly undermined the whole philosophy in this game, which was to play on the Giants' nerves. The suspicion in the whole camp was that after what happened last week, Huddersfield might be a little bit twitchy, and the longer that Hull could keep them at bay, then the more those nerves would grow. But already there's signs that Huddersfield are growing in confidence.
This is Sean Lunt, and he finds Griggs, who tries to go inside Miller. Ellis got there as well, and Classen, and the touch judges on this near side.
He hasn't missed it, and Ellis didn't miss either. Interesting, will they go into the corner? Will they take the opportunity of the 2? And it is. Brooks would have felt that. That is for sure. Looks like Brooks going to push it into the corner after a second try. not surprisingly. Interesting to see how Anderson works it out throughout this season. Both Robinson and Danny Brough have been interchanging first receiver. They didn't do it as well against Wigan last week. We'll see that tonight.
Brough, little dummy from Brough, and he gets so close to the line. Beg your pardon, it's Robinson. Robinson so close to the line. This is Sean Lunt. Lunt then finds Leroy Cudjoe, try scorer, and he's grounded by 3 white jerseys. Lunt is looking at the options, left, right and behind him. He goes into centre field to Robinson. Robinson then finds Brough. Brough, a long booming pass out wide on the bounce. It reaches Aaron Murphy.
Will he go that short blind side? They've got the numbers there, Hull.
Now Lunt will come into centre field again with Danny Brough. He slides the kick in brilliantly. Collected by Robinson. Second try for the Giants. The referee's not happy though, Richard Silverwood. He's going to hand this on to the video referee tonight, Steve Ganson, just to check whether Robinson was in an offside or onside position. I think this will tell you he's onside.
Yeah, no problem with that. You can see with the semicircle, he's outside of that, and this plonks it down. No trouble, TRY time. The Giants, they're getting bigger. Second try, confirmation.
Just over a fortnight away from the big night, and Robinson gets the 99th try of his career. He hasn't scored in the last 9. He got to Old Trafford with Wigan 10 years ago and lost to the Bradford Bulls. But this try, well, they're hoping that it'll put them on their way to victory tonight. There's the penalty.
Late in the tackle code didn't help them. Robinson went close, was held up just short, and then shortly following that, no team in Super League have scored more tries from kicks. And any side that meets the Giants in the remaining playoff games will need to find a way of defending when Danny Brough puts the ball to boot. He's most often the guy who kicks the ones for his teammates. He's kicked another 2 points, and that is a dream start for the Giants.
Yes, 12-0 to the Huddersfield Giants. League leaders so disappointed last week. Paul Anderson saying after the match, well, everyone's writing us off. Let's see what this week brings.
Yeah, but it was a beautiful way to kick, wasn't it? It was a planned move. He knew exactly where it was going to be. This is the view from the official. Nearly took him out. Great stuff, great start. The message now by Anderson will be putting straight out to the side. Do not relax, keep up this momentum.
McGilvray to his feet, plays the ball to Lunt. Lunt then gives it to Michael Lawrence. A try home and away against Hull for Michael Lawrence in 2011. Brett Ferris now. And Ferris was looking to offload that ball, but Hull made sure they clamped the ball to him. Got hold of his arms as well, couldn't release it. So here now comes Craig Kopczak. Kopczak goes down, tackle number 4, still inside his own half. Problem here for Brett Ferris by the looks of things, and a problem for Huddersfield because Earl Crabtree's just lost the ball, and Sean Lunt was actually offside then.
What a massive effort from Joe Westerman. He's helped to keep his side alive here, Eddie. He got up quickly into the face. We see Crabtree drop the ball here, and at 12-0 down in less than 8 minutes, Hull had to do something to get their hands on the ball and stop the momentum that the Giants had.
Yeah, the big fella just got out of the blocks a little bit early. Just took his eye off the ball and knew that Westerman was coming towards him. Hull now have to capitalise on that mistake. Got to keep down there, but very little option to attack.
Familiar territory this for Hull on this ground. Last time they were here in the Challenge Cup semi-final, they conceded a couple of early tries to the Warrington Wolves. Warrington on that occasion didn't kick the goals. Hull came back and won the match. Can they do the same here? This is a drive forward by Kirk Yeeman. And Jamie Shaw in a dummy half, 3 metres away from the line. Back it comes to Miller. Miller then to Holdsworth, who was the key to that semi-final victory. Westerman finds Tickle. Tickle loses the ball. Play on, this is a free play. Good song, solid run. This is Griggs down the line. Griggs has got Brough inside him. And Griggs will go all the way. What a start for the Giants this is. Paul Anderson, the coach. He's given the club here and these supporters their best year in half a century. Bitterly disappointed last week. Wanted to get things right this week. And the signs are that the Giants are going to make progress and will be 80 minutes away from Wembley at the end of tonight's game.
Psychologically, this is a bitter blow for the black and whites. In a very good position. Westerman puts it through, but the tackle from Brough was sufficient. This is wonderful work there. Lunt gets through and he's away, his Griggs. Nothing's going to stop him. What a wonderful start. Did the right thing, but it's a big hit there, wasn't it? Fantastic stuff. Wardle says, give it to me, and he's away. Head down, looks away. There's no way that Holdsworth can get near him. 3 tries, quick and ready. The Giants are in again.
Yes, Griggs' try. Brough here to try and add the extras, and he has kicked it. 18 points to 0, and if Huddersfield keep this up, they will be 80 minutes away from Old Trafford.
Well, Hull need to make sure that they don't keep it up and do something about it. You know, 18-0, the game is not over in Rugby League. If it goes beyond that, then I think the margin will be too great. But there has to be some positive action here now from the Hull players. Griggs striding away, not the players quick enough to get back and prevent that try. Great kick as well from the sideline. But what are Hull's actions here now?
It's an ominous sign, Eddie, for Hull FC that Huddersfield turned from defence into attack so quickly. They force an error. Everybody's thinking Joe Wardle does brilliantly on the left-hand side, and Scott Griggs has scored a wonderful playoff try. If I was Hull FC, I'd be thinking, boys, we've got to get our ideas together quickly, because this Huddersfield side have had a rocket up from their coach during the week, and they're ready to blitz us.
Well, they're certainly doing that, Brian, and they're looking so confident. But I must say, the whole defence, some are going far too high.
Horn
It's all
going
over
low
the place.
there on Sean Lunt, and here comes Joe Wardle.
Pretty poor first and second markers as well from the black and whites.
Brough
Here's a high one.
hoist the high kick, and Robinson is hurling after this. Oh, it is spilled by Jamie Shaw. Goal line dropout coming up.
I was critical of Danny Brough last week because I know he's capable of so much better. He's shown it today. One kick has led to a try. Beautiful kick for Luke Robinson. And this occasion, honestly, you'd think that Jamie Shaw should do better than that. That kick is phenomenal. The spin he gets on those torpedo bombs make them really difficult to catch. And if you watch Jamie Shaw against the Catalan Dragons last week, you'll know that he's good under a high ball.
And I must say to Brian that the tactics from Wigan last week in regards, they put a lot of pressure under Danny Brough, and that's the reason why they really didn't click. You often say that one man doesn't make a team, but you've got to say that once Brough is on song, then Huddersfield really hit their straps.
Well, he's a nominee for the Man of Steel title in 2013. He was, of course, at Hull. He was in the 2005 playoff team that beat Warrington. 43 appearance in the black and white jersey. This is Ferris again. 18-0, 12 minutes gone. It's a blistering start from the Giants. And here's Robinson. They're finding the opportunity to offload with ease. They're finding holes all over the place. Robinson scores the fourth. Oh, this is an awful start from Hull. 100 career tries for Luke Robinson. Hadn't scored for 9 matches until tonight, and he's got 2 in the opening quarter of an hour. A century for Luke Robinson, and the Hull supporters, well, don't tell me he's on his way home already. Looks like he's making for the exit, and I think Hull are making for the exit in the playoffs.
Yeah, it looks like they're getting a little bit of a run. This is the mistake from Jamie Shaw. Had such a wonderful game last week. But you can see this whole defence is all over the shop. Some are coming in, some are coming out of the line. It's disastrous. Peter Gentle, the Hull coach, he's totally bewildered. And you can see there that this man has produced the magic. 2 dummies back on the inside. Guess what? Every Hull defender did the same.
Successful kick from Brough. Huddersfield 24. Hull FC 0. Adam Pearson, the owner and chairman of the Black and Whites, is cutting a disconsolate figure, as is his coach, Peter Gentle.
Well, Peter Gentle's got a difficult task. John Wells will have a difficult task at half-time, trying to figure out what Jacob Miller was doing on that play. I believe he got no business coming into near where Gareth Ellis was. He needed to stay out, hold the line. He created the worst of doglegs by diving in, and Luke Robinson too easily skipped around them and scored another try. We were complimenting Hull FC's defence in the build-up to this game. It's been appalling so far.
Yes, the defensive quality that was on show against the Catalan Dragons a week ago is nowhere. It has disappeared.
It has, Eddie, and more to the point is that in and around the scrum, the play the ball area, That's where they're having the trouble. They're allowing the dummy half to just control it. Nearly every play the ball that the Giants do, they're over the advantage line. Last week, Hull, one line, solid defence. It's not on show tonight.
And Huddersfield getting the ball away quite easily as well in the offload. Brough helps it on to Crabtree. Here comes the last tackle for the Giants, and Ferris is running it, and he gets it away to Wardle. Wardle lowest tackled by Westerman.
Well, it's worth a try. You're 24 points up. Why not run it and play the power play?
Well, do you know what? They've had more than 4 times as much possession as Hull in that opening 15 minutes, and they've used it so effectively. Not just the tries, but remember, am I right? Has every try been converted by Danny Brough? You know what? Even when the pressure's not been on him, he still delivered the goods there. Every player in the Giants shirt looks to be up for this at the present.
Well, looking to get the ship back on course if they possibly can. Here is Johnson for them. 21st appearance of this, his debut year at Hull for Johnson. Miller steps out of the possibility of one challenge, gets it away to Gareth Ellis. Ellis got a try against the Catalan Dragons last week. It's Miller now. This is better. Nice weaving run from Jacob Miller. Pops it up once more to Ellis.
And you want to see more of that. Jacob Miller just taking them on, asking the questions. This will be a stab into the in-goal area, surely.
You think so? It's with Miller. It's tipped on. It finds its way to Horn. He gets it wide to Jason Crooks. That's good defence. That's great defence from the Giants.
Yeah, did well, did Murphy. Stood his ground. That's the one thing that the black and whites are not doing. That's man-on-man defence. Look at that. Great stuff. Got himself back in time. Well, there's always a feeling, and especially where Wigan, they utilise that fact. They put a lot of pressure on where Danny Brough stands on that left-hand side. Hull could not take that advantage.
So the Giants in possession with Jason Chan. Yistin Harris, the Wigan assistant, is here. Looks like he might be on duty for a radio station somewhere, but he is here. I bet he's having a very close look at the Giants. Despite what happened last week, Ellis is penalised.
But look how easy Leroy Cudjoe was just dancing in and around in the tulips. There's a high shot from Gareth Ellis. They're just not reading things at all. Last week, Hull on their own ground, moving up quickly, just absolutely gave the attack no chance. Tonight, all over the shop.
So Crabtree will drive it in again on the first tackle for the Giants. Their second penalty. There's only been 3. 17.5 minutes gone. It's with Robinson again. Short ball then to Cudjoe.
Boy, the Giants utilise this blind side so well. They know they've got good link. Brough and Robinson.
Jason Chan. He goes down. The tackle from Ellis round the legs. Robinson again, changes the direction. Forward pass.
Yes,
pass.
Picked it well, Richard Silverwood. Came a little bit too early. He knows it too.
They are showing some great variety though in attack. It's not just as though the pass goes wide to Danny Brough and see what magic he can create. Robinson deciding to pass it back inside to Crabtree.
We're happy that is a forward pass, Stuart Cummings.
Yeah, straight away it comes out of the hands. It was actually James Child on the far side that was in line with that and called the pass. But certainly from the ref cam, it looks like it comes out of his hands forward.
Well, if you're going to come up with an error, you may as well do it just about 10 metres away from the opposition line. Now then, will we see the Giants have been impressive in attack, and they do it in defence as well. Good low tackle there by Crabtree.
I think the Giants have had a busy week in training this week. The way this has gone, they've lost the ball again. Have Hull FC. This is Ferris. Ferris with a chip over the top, looking for the runner. The runner's there. It's Murphy. The referee has not given this. He wants to check whether it's onside or offside. If it's onside, of course, try would be given. Offside. Back to the original offence. It's a free play.
Yes, it's a free play, so it'll come back anyway.
He's in front.
He's got to have both feet behind the ball, and it looks on that shot that he's got his right foot in front of the ball.
I'm with you, Stuart. I think that Murphy is just a fraction in front. This is where the incident happened. He lost control of it.
I think Murphy wanted it kicking immediately. It got a bit late. It took a few steps, wasn't it? And in the 4 steps, I think Murphy had already set out to the blocks.
There's not much in it, but I think you've just got Murphy's right leg in front.
Do you remember earlier in the season, Ferris set up a try for McGilvery on the other wing with the turnover at Castleford? It was this free play early in the season, and a brilliant example of how it can be used.
Steve Ganson's looking at the grounding. Looks like this is going to be given.
Yeah, well, he seems happy.
Well, certainly nothing up with the grounding, but I thought he was in front on the kick.
Well, what Steve Ganson saying, looks like this is going to be given, and it is. Everybody universally agreed up here he was in front, but if it's both feet behind the ball, was he fractionally behind the ball with both feet when it was kicked, Stuart?
Well, we're not directly in line with it, so we haven't got the best angle, but certainly from our view up here, looking at the cut of the grass, I thought his right foot was in front of the ball when it was kicked.
Yeah, I'll agree with that one. Either way, this fella will not be arguing. He's in top form, leading goal kicker in Super League. Can he add an extra one?
28-0. Make that 30 points to 0.
They're playing too well, Eddie. Tell them to slow down. Using up all the tries and all the goals.
It's flipping that switch again, isn't it? You force an error, and immediately when your opposition are on the back foot, you put a kick in. I think we're all agreeing really that it was offside. It perhaps shouldn't have been given. It has been given. I don't know if Hull FC can have too many complaints that they find themselves 30 points or 26 points down there. They're well out of this game at the moment. They're going to have to do an awful lot to drag themselves back in.
Well, 20 minutes gone, 13-0 to the Huddersfield Giants. And Paul Anderson, I think he agrees with Stuart Cummings, Brian Carney, Phil Clark and Steve-O up here that maybe his man was just in front of the kicker. Well, as I say, 30-0. Their biggest defeat for Hull this year. They've only conceded more than 30 once. 38 points to 12 they lost against the Saints. This could become a little bit embarrassing. 30-0. 20 minutes gone.
You know, they won't take the foot off the gas either, Steve-O, will they? Because Paul Anderson will want them to go through. Forget about the opposition currently playing. Just put the hammer down.
That's what Cudjoe's doing here. He's left Yeaman for dead. He has support from Griggs. Oh, dear me. Second try for Griggs. Peter Gentle, don't tell me he's heading for the exit door as well tonight. I think he's going downstairs to talk to somebody and try and rescue something from the wreckage of this.
He'll be going downstairs, Eddie, to kick the door down. That's what he's going to do. That was appalling defence. I was just about to make the point. The one thing about this Hull FC side this season has been their solid defence. Look at this Cudjoe, he's just making a mockery of it. Anybody want it? Yeah. Look at them all looking in distance. I mean, you can't take anything away from the attacking skills. But there's nobody there. Do you want him? You get him, I'll get him. No, I haven't. They barely laid a finger on Cudjoe. And Griggs in for his second try.
And this is a very important kick in a personal milestone for Danny Brough. He now equals the club record of 147 goals in a season, set by Ben Grono back in the 1919-1920 season. Peter Gentle's on his way downstairs. Those Hull fans, I think, are on their way home, and those who are staying are not impressed.
Well, it looks to me like an opposed training session. A lot of sides in rugby league get the second team or the younger team to run against them in a mock session before a game, just to put themselves into position. And this has looked like it one so far. Look, Huddersfield have had 4 times as much possession, and all of the red lights for Hull really do spell danger for the coach and the side at present.
Well, the only real chance that Hull had of applying any sort of tourniquet to the opposition was to make the run. And what did they do? They knocked it on.
Well, some of the defence, Steve-O. Gareth Ellis on that occasion went diving in, seemed unsure of the defenders inside him. And of course, once your inside defender goes, you have to go on the outside. That left Kirk Yeaman and Jacob Miller at 6th and 7th. And Huddersfield able to exploit it.
Almost a 40-20 kick from Danny Brough. Almost. The biggest win in playoff history, 71-0 Bradford against Hull in 2005. Well, that record is in some danger.
Stephen Kearney's last game, was it?
Yes, it was.
Well, it's on the cards again, especially with this fella on the hunt, and there's pressure on Peter Gentle. He knows that he could be looking down the barrel of an embarrassing situation. It's embarrassing about now. It's only going to get worse. They're hardly completing any of their sets. And when you get yourself into this sort of a situation, it is so difficult to lift the spirits. Psychologically, Hull have gone. Simple as that.
Well, on the scoreline, Hull have gone as well. And just remembering that 2005 debacle that they suffered at Odsal, Bradford that year, 2005, went on to win the grand final. Peter Gentle will not be impressed, and I think that Bill has got some news from the Hull camp.
Well, Eddie, it's just the fact that Peter Gentle was saying before the game that confidence was really high. They'd had a fantastic weekend in training and everything looked really sharp. The only really negative for them, and it is a big negative, it's turned out to be a big negative, is the absence of Richard Whiting, who had a storming game last week, of course, against the Dragons.
Jamie Shaw is in. It was a free kick. It hung and it hung and it hung and it hit the top of the post padding. Bounced up and dropped into the arms of Jamie Shaw, and referee Richard Silverwood just wants to check that everyone here is onside.
Well, again, if we use the cut of the grass, I think Danny Holton's in front, but he doesn't get involved, and I think he stays more than 10 metres away. So I think everybody's onside there, and this should be given.
What a sensational kick.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, there's very little you can do about it. I knew it was going to be close to the post, but I mean, to hit the top of the protector, there's the height. Robinson says, I've got it, it's mine. No, you haven't. There's only Danny Houghton and Holdsworth that are offside, and they don't. I don't think, I know that Houghton doesn't and Holdsworth doesn't, so this should be given. That's an amazing thing, isn't it?
This could be anything, Steve-O. Try, no try, benefit of the doubt.
Oh, it's a try.
Do you know what? It's evidence of a young kid who's not given up. Playing for his hometown here, 36-0 down. He's chased that kick harder than anybody else.
And he gets his reward for the chase. And they get the reward for the kick. Jamie Shaw, only his 10th Hull appearance this. He got a great try in his playoff debut last week. That's his 7th try of the season.
You take the chance, and it was a beautiful high kick there by Holdsworth. Nothing that anybody could do about it, but full credit. This fullback says, I'm not giving up. Well, with this try, who knows? Maybe some of those Hull fans that are going towards the car park, maybe somebody should shout to them and say, hey, come back, the fight back's on.
Danny Tickle adds the extra 2. It's still a mountain for the black and whites to climb. 36-6 they trail. I wonder if some of them are on the way back up the M62. They've heard it on local radio, and they're suddenly doing a U-turn and coming back in the off chance.
Well, they might do, and they've got a very good full-back in that man, Jamie Shaw. I want to look at Scott Griggs' input in that try. I would expect your full-back to catch a ball that's landing on top of the post, not your left winger, Aaron Murphy, to whom the ball was left. I think Scott Griggs has got to be a little bit more dominant there and call that ball and make it his own.
Well, I'm just trying to recall the best ever comeback. We've got 6 points here. It's narrowed it to 30. Was it a game at Bradford when Wigan played there?
It was. Wigan came back, didn't they? They were 30 points to 6 down, and they won in the end 31-30. So
he's off again.
We're looking for something very special from the black and whites here.
Well, it certainly lifted the spirits. Good work by Houghton. Got the fullback Shaw moving. Oh, that's a real shocker. They've got the penalty interference that they play the ball. He's the man that can turn it around. He will not give up, this fella, Danny Houghton.
Well, that comeback, by the way, we were talking about was 2007 for Wigan at Bradford, and Holdsworth injured, needing a little bit of assistance here. Bit of a collision apparently with Brett Ferris. Oof, took a bit of a hit.
Yeah, ball had gone as well.
Listen, I know it's really, really incredulous, a 30-point scoreline, but look at the clock. We're only 26 minutes in.
Well, there's plenty of time left, that's for sure.
Those who have kept the faith are still here, and they're hoping against hope for a miracle. Holdsworth then to Andy Lynch. He won't want to bow out like this. He's going off to Castleford for next year on a 2-year deal. Houghton once again scampers, comes across the face of the Huddersfield defence. Cudjoe shoots out of the line and brings Jamie Shaw down.
Tremendous from the centre, Cudjoe.
Houghton again. Here's
That's
Lynch,
forward.
short ball.
Not
Green
seen.
tries to get the arms free to get rid of the ball and can't.
Well, he went early, did Green. That really was a forward pass. Got away with it.
Jacob Miller now. Oh, and that was an interception. It was a bullet pass from Shaw.
It was worth a try, though, Eddie. 36-6. That's 30 points behind. They know they've got to keep trying everything now, Hull.
They're better off shooting Gareth Ellis at Luke Robinson. That's the play on that side. You've got a big man against a small man. He's gone through once already. The ball didn't go to him. That's the play to start on the left instead of this Hail Mary over the top where Jermaine McGilvery picks it off easily.
Interesting tactic as well by Huddersfield tonight. As I said last week against Wigan, Danny Brough was taking first receiver nearly all the time. He's doing it for the kick. That's a great kick. Can Murphy get to it? Yes, he can.
That was an inventive kick from Brough. Oh, nice little slip pass as well. Wardle with the chip down the line. Oh, he nearly lost it. He's so
Back to
nearly
6.
lost it, Jason Crooks.
Yeah, got it back. That's 6 to play. The point what I'm making is that Luke Robinson is now controlling things from the ruck. Got it right as the official.
One of the dangers, I think, for Huddersfield now is to go away from a normal game, Eddie. You know, chipping like that for a winger isn't what you'd expect, is it, in a playoff game, you know, less than 3 weeks of the grand final. And that would be a concern, I guess, with a 30-point lead. I understand why they did that, and Danny Brough's vision spotted the chance out wide, but another injury there. We just saw Richard Horn receiving treatment, and it is difficult for the black and white shirts at present when they lose possession like that.
That's a knock-on. Tried to scoot it away very, very quickly. Houghton just lost control of it.
Tell you what, he's having a big game defensively, isn't he, Leroy Cudjoe? He's already scored a try here tonight, but he's been very busy.
Yeah, he's been the star so far, no doubt about it.
He made the dream team, didn't he, this year? And I think that was primarily because people respected what he's done. I mean, defending as a centre is probably the most difficult role in a rugby league team. You're out wide, and the decision you make is an instant one. Very often it leads to a try if you get it wrong. He's got it right more often than not this year, and it's the reason why he is so highly regarded on this right flank. Well,
at 29 minutes, did anyone honestly expect this scoreline of 36 points to 6?
You mustn't have watched warm-up. We tipped it.
Would that look forward?
This is Akuma Tai. Well, have you got 6 lottery numbers, please, Brian, for the Saturday night draw?
No, Brian, I'd like to just remind us in warm-up who you took tomorrow night in the Leeds-St Helens clash.
Leeds.
Will he get the double up? Have Huddersfield won this already?
Well, they're pretty convincing at the moment. They know that all they have to do is get the kicking game right, play down in Hull's territory, get him on that red zone, and the way that they're using the big fellas, they'll probably do that.
Oh, that's a bad knee injury. He's bent backwards really badly there. It got trapped under 3 defenders.
Akuma Tai.
Yep.
Only just back in the side tonight, and
he was twisting in the tackle, wasn't he?
This could be a blow.
See how it twists, and oh, that is
wait.
painful.
It's now at the end. Oh,
that is painful.
And the ankle as well.
Yeah.
Look away.
It's a double whammy. Oh.
Well, you've got Liam Watts underneath him, they've got Gareth Ellis, and they've got Danny Houghton forcing him to the ground. No wonder his face creases in agony and the ball is dropped.
Well, this should actually be a scrum restart here. Even though he's injured, he lost the ball in the tackle after the tackle was complete. And it looks like they're setting up for another play of the ball. This should be a scrum to Hull.
Geez, that's tough. Geez, you're callous.
It's tough, but that's the rules.
Well, even after the official is called hell.
The tackle was complete, he lost the ball, and then he stopped the clock after that. Tackle was complete before. You know, it's unfortunate, but that's the laws of the game.
I wonder if someone will have a word in Richard Silverwood's shell-like.
Oh, this is very, very dangerous. Let's hope that it's not as bad as what it looks, that's for sure. See, he's in a lot of agony, and
Andy Lynch, I think, has just raised the question with Richard Silverwood, and I think I overheard Richard Silverwood say the ball came out on the shout move, so he must have called the tackle completed if he's shouting move to the defenders.
Well, he must think that he's trying to pass the ball then, because that's the only time he would give the ball back if he was trying to offload the ball. You know, he's lost the ball in the tackle.
Well, he's done well to get to his feet after all of that.
Well, I think I'm going to go Silverwood 1, Cummins 0.
He'd called time off, he says.
Oh, well, my ears must be deceiving me.
When you've got touch judges, referees, producers, you've got all sorts in your ears. You have, Stuart. That's nicely swept up by Jamie Shaw. A good chase, though, by the centre, Joe Wardle.
And that's the one thing that's really impressed me about this Jamie Shaw. OK, we know about his speed, and he's certainly got great talent with ball in hand, but his positional play at full-back is outstanding.
Well, the Kumatai is running around now like a 2-year-old. He's up and down, he's back to the referee, making the 10 metres.
And that's great to see, isn't it?
Look at him. Looked for a moment as though his season and his playoff hopes were over, but here he is, and that ball's gone backwards off Westerman.
Well, whatever sport you play, you know, you do have to take your chances, and I suppose in the playoffs we notice that more often than not. 5 breaks to 1 at the moment for the Huddersfield Giants, and almost 5 tries from those breaks. They've converted every chance they've had into points, and then at the back of that, they put 2 more points on. You know, it's very unusual to see Hull tackle success rate below 90%. They've got the highest tackle success rate over the course of the season, but when the pressure's been on tonight, Eddie, they've failed to complete.
The last play and you can't get the ball to the kicker, it's sinful. In a playoff game where your season ends tonight, you get somebody running out on the 5th tackle, you're chasing 30 points, you end up getting caught at marker. That's not good enough.
Yeah, they're not at the races, that is for sure. I'm taking nothing away by the wonderful attack by the Giants, but they're all over the place.
Lunt from dummy half finds Robinson. Robinson a short ball then to Brett Ferris. Lunt again will go down the left-hand side. Brough.
Good tackle by Richard Horne. He said he's lost it.
And Danny Tickle saying that Wardle's lost it as well, but the referee in touch just didn't see it if he did. Brough slides the kick in, a horrible bounce, but a lovely bounce for Luke Robinson, who gets his hat-trick try. Well, no tries for 9 matches, 3 in half an hour for little Luke.
It's that Danny Brough kick again. He's on form, Eddie. He's brought his kicking boots. This one he got the bounce. He got the first one to curve towards Luke Robinson. He's hit this one where it's bounced awkwardly. Hull FC got caught underneath it. Well, this is the question mark. Did they dislodge the ball here? Did Joe Wardle drop it? You'd say they might have got pulled for a strip in that one had the referee seen it. It did come loose though. Well, then Brough manages to kick it down into the ground so it bumps up, and Luke Robinson, well, he out-jumps Westerman to get that.
The big problem is Peter Gentle will know, every player, he'll be happy, Paul Anderson, but every player in rugby league knows what this man, Danny Brough, is capable with the little kick game. And they didn't have enough people there to smother it.
New club record for Danny Brough then. That's now 148 goals this season, set by Ben Grono 1919-1920. His kick is responsible for the Robinson hat-trick try. He needed 20 points, by the way, did Danny Brough coming into this match to equal the club record for points in a season, 332, set by the Australian legend Pat Devery in 1952-53. Could be a record-breaking night for Danny Brough.
And boy, oh boy, you're talking some of the all-time greats, not just at Huddersfield, Eddie, but in the game of rugby league.
Well, that's legends. That's been his season so far, Danny Brough. And you have to think, with a 42-6 scoreline in the Giants' favour, and still 6.5 minutes to half-time, you have to think that his season 2013 is going on at least another week. Now, tomorrow, Leeds versus Saints. 7:30 on Sky Sports 1. Here is Wardle. They're going through at will. And that is picked up one-handed by Lunt. And they're over for another try. Well, Hull must be hoping that the full-time siren sounds PDQ, because this is embarrassing for them and for their coach and for their club. I'm sorry to say it, but it is.
Well, almost 12 months ago to the day, Hull beat the Huddersfield Giants in a playoff game by 46 points to 10. It looks as though in less than half a game, they've managed to get those 46 points back. It's a wonderful play on the left-hand short side. and Ferris draws in the man. They're making this look like a training session. I said it earlier and I say it again here. Some of the black and whites are trying hard, some not that hard. And at the moment when Wardle breaks the break, he's made more breaks than any other Giant this year. Draws the fullback, fans it on there to Sean Lund. Bit of a lazy pass at the end, I think. Lund did have to dip for it. He didn't have much else to do.
He had to dip for it, but he took it in one-handedly. At pace, that's pretty impressive. 7 from 7 for Brough. Oh, well, it goes for you, 8 from 8. Puff of the cheeks. 48 points to 6.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, but you've got to say again, this whole defence, take nothing away from Brent Ferris. He just sucked into one man, and Wardle had an enormous gap for him to run through. You can see the pressure and the concern on the face of Peter Gentle.
What do you say, Steve-O? You got to bring them in about just over 4 minutes. Into half-time, you probably get about 10 or 15 minutes with them. What do you say?
Well, I remember a famous Leeds coach that came in at half-time and said, come on, lads, I'm sure you can do a little bit better than this.
Yes, I know the story very well. By the way, we are seeing a night of personal milestones tonight for Sean Lund. This is his 100th appearance for the Huddersfield Giants, and he's marked that with a try.
And not only that, Eddie, it's what every good hooker does. He runs himself down the middle. When there's a break, he puts himself into the middle to make sure. It's the same old squash theory. If you hit the ball against the wall, it'll come back inside. Simple equation. Oh, just short, wasn't it?
Yes, well, just a little bit long, actually, but I know what you mean. He was so close to a 40-20, and he's annoyed with himself, Danny Brough.
When's the last time you played squash?
About 100 years ago, Steve-O, wasn't it? You were a Dewsbury champion, weren't you?
Excuse me, I used to play with a yellow ball as well.
You know, the Giants have done a lot. They've done a lot of good things here in this game. They've been very impressive, and you could pick out many compliments. One of the interesting things is that Sean Lund has played for the whole 36.5 minutes so far. Last week was he rested at one point. Kyle Wood came on. At the moment, Wood, who's sort of the reserve hooker, still sitting in the tracksuit on the side of the field.
You're right, Phil. I mentioned last week, it surprised me that he took off Earl Crabtree and Sean Lund, brought on Kyle Wood. Nothing against Wood, but he came up with a lot of errors that allowed Wigan to take control of the game.
Tickles lost the ball. It's systematic, or symptomatic, should I say, of Hull's first half here. Last week, of course, Danny Tickle played his final match at the KC Stadium. I also noticed when they farewelled him in the centre of the pitch at the end, they also said farewell to Tom Briscoe. I don't think anything's been announced yet where Briscoe will be in 2014, but they did say last game at the KC for Tom Briscoe, so it looks like he's moving on as well. Great pass, great hands. And here is McGilvray, and that's good defence from Briscoe, who's obviously off somewhere else.
Well, Briscoe did one thing, and so did Miller. They man-on-man rather than get sucked in. But look how some are coming in, and others are hanging back. That's lethal. If you just hang back for a second, the likes of Robinson and Danny Brough will pick a short pass out.
Brough gets the ball away, and that is Michael Lawrence.
You got a drop goal in him, Mike?
Oh, I don't think they'll bother. I think they'll put it high. No, they're going blind. No, well, you never know with this fella.
Oh dear, they waited and waited. For Robinson! 4 tries for Robinson!
I'm running out of paper.
Well, I don't know how long John Wells has got at half-time, but I think he's going to take up the full quarter of an hour to review this.
I think the scoreboard
4 tries in the first half for Luke Robinson.
The scoreboard's running out of points here, isn't it? Hull came up with a possession error. Tapped back by Wardle and pounced on by Lawrence. The first the ball, bounced the ball on every occasion. They're keeping the ball wide. McGilvray trapped just about that part of the field, but they're toying with it on the last play. Danny Brough seems to be able to do anything with it. He's got it on a string, chips it over, and absolutely every bounce is going for the Giants at present.
He can produce everything, can't he, at times? They were very slow. No one at home.
Now, yes, 4, he says, 4. I tell you what, there are white shirts out there for Hull. Here is the next kick for Danny Brough. there are white shirts out there. There's a couple of white flags gone up as well.
Well, I think Huddersfield got a bit lucky there. I think Joe Wardle knocked the ball on. Never mind that. Huddersfield get it back. Jamie Shaw has got to put his body on the line and jump on that ball, Eddie. He's a good fullback. He's learning his trade, but he's got to risk injury when cleaning up that ball. He cannot let the opposition just tow it through and score.
We got a shot there of Adam Pearson alongside his director of rugby, Sean McRae. This looks like the farewell appearance for Sean McRae. He, of course, has already announced he's going back to Australia the week after the grand final. It's not the way that Sean would have wanted to bow out. But bow out they are going, that's for sure. You can hear what the Hull fans think about it. And Peter Gentle's face tells its own story. The Giants, 54 points to 6 up at half-time. Records have been broken all over the place by Danny Brough. We've had 4 tries for Luke Robinson. And in Rod Studd's own inimitable style, he says clubs get to 50 and you should go home and pack up and come back next week. Well, Huddersfield won't want to do that. This lot might like to go